video on the Five Nights at Freddy's Retrospective. Your job here at Bluestuff Entertainment will be to ensure that the video is safely stored until it's ready to be released to the public. Recently, we had an incident in which the security guard before you accidentally watched the video and he wasn't permitted to, and was immediately terminated and banned from the premises, blah blah blah. Purely coincidentally, he went missing a day after being fired, so no pressure, but don't watch the video while you're here. That would be pretty bad. Anyway, enjoy the ship. There shouldn't be any issues, but if anything comes up, just call me. Or don't. That was a joke. No, it wasn't. Bye!
Warning, this is the final part of my 4-part retrospective on the Five Nights at Freddy's game series. If you haven't watched parts 1 through 3, their links will be in the description for you to watch prior to watching this. If you've already seen them, then we're in the clear. And if you're watching this, and you're not supposed to be watching this, I'm so sorry for what needs to be done. It's too late to go back. Tell your family you love them. Anyway, here's the final part of the Five Nights at Freddy's retrospective. I never played the VR games of FNAF, let me admit that before I discuss how I feel about them. I have what's known as preemptive bias against the VR games of FNAF because I don't have any VR system, which makes me feel poor, even though you definitely wouldn't be poor for not owning an Oculus or PSVR. And also because these games shouldn't fucking exist. Pizzeria Simulator was a great closer for the series and made the community feel absolutely great, but then these goddamn VR games just completely ruin my chances of getting a puppy. That is correct, shouty. And the VR games led to it. God wouldn't have been able to determine how fucked up this situation would be. These games should not have been made now that we have hindsight. That isn't to say that the VR games weren't good. Overall, they were received pretty well and had tolerable storytelling. Not to say that William Afton coming back isn't the nature of the character, but Jesus Christ, how many times is this motherfucker gonna come back from the grave to haunt pizzerias? Glitch Trap was always a bit of a fuck up to me. I never liked the story of Glitch Trap, and man, I hate that he even exists because it doesn't make any sense, but that's also half of the lore, so I guess I can't complain too much. Overall, the VR games were absolutely not necessary, but were nice additions to the series. Had that been the end of FNAF, I wouldn't be too upset by their existence, considering most of them weren't even bad games. The problem is that these games led directly to the worst game in the history of FNAF. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach.
Oh my god!
Ooh boy, it's time to talk about it. After a long time of controversy surrounding Scott Cawthon, the Five Nights at Freddy's title Security Breach was released in December of 2021. Security Breach was only the second full FNAF game that wasn't completely developed by Scott Cawthon, instead being developed by Steel Wool Studios, who also developed Help Wanted, one of the VR games. Now, unfortunately, I won't be ripping this game a new asshole, only because that's been done for the greater part of a year by almost every FNAF YouTuber on the planet. And not only am I not a FNAF YouTuber, but I also don't feel too upset by this game as an individual. Needless to say though, this game was horrible for the FNAF series, and most fans can agree that it probably should have never been released. Its relation to the lore is utterly confusing to the point that even game theory could barely figure out what the hell was going on. The actual story of the game feels isolated and generally weird, and the animatronics get a little quirky at night. This game has too many problems to count. There are so many glitches in this game that I've had a hard time keeping a straight face while playing, and there was a point in time where the final boss, who's, you guessed it, William I Can Never Die Afton, is so glitched out that it was nearly impossible to beat. I'm pretty sure they fixed that along with many of the glitches that haunted this game at release, but there are still some that'll probably never get patched. The story is so bad. I can't even explain to you what makes it so bad without wanting to jump off of a bridge. You basically play as a boy named Gregory, who gets trapped in the super duper Freddy Fazbear's Pizzaplex Cirque du Soleil and has to find a way out of there. He befriends Rockstar Freddy, who's allegedly Michael Afton, and they both roam around the Pizzaplex looking for a way out of the store since it locks all entrances from 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. While you're figuring this out, you're being chased by Vanessa, the security guard of the place, who's also being mind-controlled by William Afton and has an alter ego named Vanny, which is just her in a bunny suit, and I have no idea where it comes from. Where the hell does it come from? You're also chased around by Chica, Roxy, and him. Once you do enough stuff and grab enough things in the Pizzaplex, you're offered 3 solutions that all lead to different endings. If you leave the Pizzaplex, you basically get the bad ending. Mind you, leaving was the original objective of the game. Having not saved Vanessa from William Afton and helping Freddy get his memory back, I didn't know these things work like that. If you press the Vanny option, you defeat Vanny while also losing Freddy in the process. Another bad ending. Whoops. If you stay at the Pizzaplex, you can achieve 4 more endings that all have varying degrees of canonic relation. The best ending from this being the Princess Quest ending, where you have to play all of the Princess Quest games in the Pizzaplex, then press the Vanny button again when prompted to at 6 a.m. The result will be that Freddy will live, hurrah, Vanessa will be freed from William Afton's control, mazel tov, and everybody gets ice cream. Also, this is Evan, and this is Elizabeth. There is a total of 6 fucking endings you could get from this game, and all of them have weird consequences that made this series more confusing than it ever had been prior to the release of any other fucking FNAF game. Had they ended things on Pizzeria Simulator, there would have been goddamned statues of Freddy Fazbear up in New York City and the southern United States. But no, they wanted more money, and what resulted was a disastrous story killer that confused MatPat. Fucking MatPat of all people. And yet the game was fun to play. Yeah, I'll admit it, for all the bullshit this game has attached to it, and there is a lot of bullshit, Security Breach was a fun game to play. It looks cool, it has fun ideas. I can't say I wasn't having a good time playing this game. But this is just like the Call of Duty Infinite Warfare paradox. The game was fun simply because it was so terrible that you just kinda have to sit there and lower your expectations if you want to beat this game. It's no surprise that the majority of the FNAF fandom hate this game, although it received good reviews for the most part. But at least there will be no more FNAF. No more books, no more games. We can finally put this tangled mess in a drawer and never see it again. A fucking movie? If Willem Dafoe isn't William Afton, it might as well be canceled. Thank you so much for tuning in to this incredibly long, I guess, Five Nights at Freddy's retrospective. I know that I'm not the first to do this, but I wanted to give my take on the series, so here we are. If you enjoyed this series, please leave a like on today's video and subscribe to the channel to stay updated on when I upload sometime in the next decade. I also have a free Patreon. I know I've been saying that for a while now, but it's completely free, and you guys should sign up for that because you'll get exclusive content, updates on videos, streams, all that good stuff, and it's, you guessed it, completely free, so become a patron. Also, all new patrons will be put up at the beginning of each video as thanks for doing what you do, so that's gotta be enticing somehow. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.